And that's probably the third time they mentioned it, but it's very imperative for them to tell us when they go to the bathroom. It makes the realism of the show more believable. It's not like we're doing anything illegal by enjoying this thing.
FBI, open up!
What are you doing? Honey, call my lawyer! Call my lawyer! Sorry, ma'am, but your husband's going away for a long time. We're gonna place him in a cell in between Jared from Subway and Dream SMP. Now, we know this is all your husband's doing, and you wouldn't happen to have made anything that would have profited off this child pornography disguised as an anime. You know, like a video game or anything, right? Right? Alright, Bandai Namco, I came here to be mad, to be angry at you, to tell you this video game that you're trying to sell us is bullshit. Well, unfortunately, it's not. Nope. Unfortunately, Bandai, like the Black Clover game, this game is kind of alright. Kind of okay. Now, if you're wondering what game we're talking about Made in an Abyss. Binary star falling into darkness. Now, long title aside, the game itself is priced at $60, which is fuck it. It's AAA titled price, but 60 is Bandai Namco's cornerstone price of being like, hey, we're the only motherfucker releasing these. Give us the big bucks. Okay. So yeah, Bandai Namco being greedy as always. Can't argue with them. Can't say they're wrong for trying to make that bag, getting that bag, YN. You know. Yeah. I said you know. That's what that meant. Anyways. So yeah. First egregious acts. Now before anybody asks, there's two modes to the Main Abyss. There's the Hello Abyss and Deep into the Abyss. And the Hello Abyss follows the main story of Rico, who is the main protagonist of the anime and the manga alike. Now, Deep in the Abyss allows you to make a custom character, and you have to start from scratch. With Rico, you have certain abilities based on her in the story that's actually canonically pretty, accurate. And in the Deep in the Abyss, you start from nothing. Now, this video is going to be mainly centered around the story itself and not the Deep in the Abyss mode. And the reason for that is the Deep in the Abyss mode offers a lot more than the story itself. I'm actually going to be doing multiple Twitch streams called Screw the Abyss, which is where you're able to use channel points, which are free as long as you're watching, you gain them. You could use them to fuck my gameplay up, such as making me drop all food in my inventory, pressing circle at random times, which if I'm on top of a cliff will make me fall all the way to the bottom. Or, we'll have some other things that you guys will be able to donate. So if you guys kind of enjoy screwing over people's gameplay and seeing people get really mad at video games, join my Twitch stream at the link below in the description. And again, I'm not trying to get big on Twitch. I just wanted an interactive experience where you guys were able to affect the gameplay. And unfortunately, YouTube doesn't offer that in a way that doesn't cost money, because I'm not trying to make a profit off it. Channel points are completely free, and you get some every 10 minutes of the stream you watch. So, jump over to my Twitch and follow, and be ready for next week, because that's when we'll start the Twitch streams itself. Anywho, back to the main game itself. Made in the Abyss, the story of Rico, who is an orphan. One of her parents, if not both of them, went into the Abyss and never came back. And after a little bit of progress, you go after your mom into the Abyss against everybody's wishes. The story itself, spoilers alert, goes down into the second layer of the Abyss where they meet Ozen and get trained by her after a confrontation between the two. Yeah, the story only takes about 4 hours. Am I griping about that? No. I'm not griping about it because, to be honest, it's kind of what I expected. I expected it to go a little bit further. So, yeah, it's short. 4 hours is not a lot. But the Deep into the Abyss mode has its own story, its own, progression. That even goes deeper than the regular story mode. So, I won't fault them for that. The story mode with Rico is kind of like the tip of the iceberg. You get to feel the game, you get to get your bearings down. I found out what it's like to have to survive and all that, while still kind of having a handicap because you have Reg with you to handle enemies. So, I won't knock them on the story. Could have gone a little further, but whatever. You gave me another mode that has a bigger story. I'll let you have that. The gameplay itself. There's a lot. I wish I could knock this game for being, clunky and shitty and underthought, but nah, it's a really solid survival game. The hunger mechanic feels good. The amount of food you can make, like the dishes, there's a lot of them. The combat itself isn't the best in the world, but there's dodge rolling, so it's already got the Dark Souls fans on its side. There's lock on, there's, combo hits. Yeah, your character acts like a tank sometimes, but it kind of feels alright because your character's a child. They're not going to be the best at combat in the world. It makes sense. It makes complete sense. And after a certain level in the Deep in the Abyss mode, you're able to hit 4-hit combos. So there's way more to that. So I'm not going to knock the combat. The enemies itself is wide in variety. There's definitely certain ways to handle certain enemies. And each enemy has their strengths and weaknesses that you can take advantage of or get fucked over by. So shit, it's got good combat. It's got a pretty alright survival system. I'm not even going to lie. It's fun. It's definitely a game you can easily put like 40 hours into and go, damn, where'd all that time go? I enjoyed leveling my character up and progressing down the skill tree in the Deep in the Abyss mode. The story mode itself, it's all about going down and following the story that Rico has. And it can be completed in 4 hours, but there's fully voice acted scenes along with QTEs and certain cutscenes. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and read a wall of text. Everything is voice acted, which is kind of nice. And the voice acting is not terrible. There is one quirk about the voice acting, though, is the repetitiveness. So the funny thing is, when you're in the game itself, Reg and Rico can't just stay silent. They have to keep talking. Unfortunately, they only have like 2 voice lines. Depending on the situation, it's usually, oh no, be safe, or I sense something by Reg. And then the other one is, while you're sitting there trying to peacefully fish, are you ready to go, Rico? Of course I'm ready! And it gets really repetitive because that shit goes on like every 5 seconds.
Hey Rico, are you ready to go? Of course I'm ready! Oh, yeah. Let's do it, Rico. Yeah! Hey Rico, are you ready to go? Of course I'm ready! Oh. Hey Rico, are you ready to go? Of course I'm ready! Hey Rico, are you ready to go? Of course I'm ready! Let's do it, Rico. Yeah! I'm on it.
So if annoying voice lines that repeat over and over is one of your, I can't play this shit for that, yep, well, that's this game. Go ahead, drop it right there. But if you're able to slog through the voice acting being repetitive in the game, not in the cutscenes, then you got a fucking solid-ass survival game. But you're probably asking, well, hold on a second. The series is all about shitting on the games and saying why it's bad and all that. In the Black Clover game, you loved the game itself, but you just bitched about them not promoting it. So what's wrong with this game? Well, I'm going to put in very simple terms. The maker of Made in Abyss, the author, the original writer, the person who thought this story up and said, I need to make that a motherfucking manga. He's a pedophile. And, I made jokes about myself enjoying children and having them chained up in my basement, or being chained up in my basement as well. But he's a true blue Jarrett from Subway, Dream SMP, damn EDP 445, pedophile. So the main complaint I have is the source material itself. And some of it's transferred over to the game. But to be honest, Made in Abyss is advertised as a grotesque horror anime. And if you attribute horror to just being some grotesque body horror and a bunch of pedophilia, then boom, you got a grotesque horror anime. And to be honest, in the game, they took out a lot of the pedophilia moments and the pissing and shitting referencing. Oh, they love to talk about Rico being, pissing and shitting. But, yeah, they still kept in the, if you're a bad child, you get strung up naked. In the manga, you're strung up naked in front of everybody while you're whipped. So it's a little, they made it more tame, but it's still, pedophilic. It's fucking weird. These are 12-year-old kids. And that's the main issue I have with the game. It's the source material itself. So you can't blame the game for it. There's a solid game here. You just have to put on your fucking blinders and go, well, the anime community definitely does not promote pedophilia or abuse against women in any way. Right? Yeah. Unfortunately, Made in Abyss does. And people will be staunch defenders saying it's not that bad. It's not that crazy. In the first 5 minutes of the game, you already hear about children being strung up naked. In the first 30 minutes of the game, you have a dialogue option where you're supposed to carry an unconscious person back up to base camp. And you have, I'm ready to go, wait a second, and I have to pee.
No! God, please, no!
I might have read that in the wrong fucking order. Well, why the fuck would I tell my comrade that is injured and I'm trying to help carry this unconscious comrade back to base camp? I have to pee. You want to know why? Because they always talked about piss. I think within the first couple episodes of Made in the Abyss, they referenced Rico pissing, having to pissing the bed, something of that nature, like 7 times. And when they bring Reg, the little robot boy that follows you around, back to base camp, she talks about sticking a ruler in his ass and it breaking off. And, oh, he's got a penis that is functioning. Crazy for him being a robot. These are 12-year-old kids. It may be funny, and the memes are really big right now about Steve Harvey saying 5 things you wouldn't want it to be found on your computer. And the guy hits the button and goes, child porn. A child? What? Yeah. Made in the Abyss has got it. They talk about pissing. They talk about shitting. They talk about pedophilia. They don't have the scene in the elevator where Rico's like, I gotta go take a huge dump. Look away real quick so I could go in the middle of this elevator and take a huge dump. And for 5 minutes, they're inside Reg's head going, she's taking a huge dump. I hope I don't get a boner from it. I mean, shit, dude. Like, if you could turn your blinders on, you enjoy the series. If you are into that shit, follow the low-tier God method of what he tells you to do before his character development hit later in these years. And, if you can't deal with that, it irks you too much, don't pick it up. I don't recommend this game. I don't recommend you pick up the series or anything like that. Because the scariest thing, the most grotesque thing, the horror thing of Made in the Abyss is just a pedophilic bullshit. I get it. There is drama that's able to be centered around that in terms of abuse and stuff. But at one point, you just got to start asking yourself, is the maker of this just a pedophile and we're just reading like his fantasies in like a made-up world? So yeah. Solid survival game. Not worth $60. And to be honest, I wouldn't support the series itself. I wouldn't support it. Some people might call me a soy boy. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on the video. Subscribe. I'm still got plenty of more anime games to go through and bitch about. And also, again, jump over to Twitch. I'm going to be doing the Screw My Abyss playthrough. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. If you want to piss me off, make me take shots of kombucha, and, I don't know, generally ruin someone else's gameplay while you get to sit there and eat your fucking tendies and fries from McDonald's, hey, more power to you. And as always, subtly, I usually end these videos like this, but I'm going to coolly, just a little bit more gentle this time. Fuck you, Bandai Namco. I fuck you for signing off on the source material in this, because this is you. You put your name on this. And just like the Gundam Witches shit that just came out, you put your name on it, and I don't think you'll ever retcon this because you make too much money off it. You make way too much money off it, and unfortunately it's a stigma that will be stuck with anime, and shit like this will never be able to make it go away. Well, see you guys in the next video.